we've built a new solution that we call Weather Intelligence. I'd like to show you now. Let's go back to the computer and take a look. So if we pull up the dashboard, we can see the dashboard of an organization that operates nationwide. They've got roughly 20,000 assets in the system, and so chances are, if there is a weather event in the continental US, it is impacting them. So here we can see a radar view. We can see their assets, as well as all of the weather events, from rain to snow to wind. Many of you have this up on a big screen in your operations center. Many of you have another screen next to it with a subscription to weather hazard alerts, the public alerts from the National Weather Service that can be critical heads up for your operations. So we said, how could we make this a little bit better? Well, what if instead of having two screens and multiple subscriptions, what if we could just have these weather hazard alerts directly in Samsara? So we have done that. And now we're bringing in public weather alerts from the NWS directly into the platform. So we can see right here, for example, that we've got a red flag warning here in Colorado. There are 3 drivers and 55 assets in that risk zone. Or we can see a heat advisory on the east and the Midwest. Right? We can see which of our drivers and assets are in that risk zone, when it's going to impact them. And then, do we have anyone here from Texas today? Yeah. A lot of Texans and a lot of weather. Down here, we've got a flood watch with 67 drivers, 199 assets. Let's dive in and take a look, see what's going on in here. So now, here we can see the weather, we can see the assets, and we can see all of the details pulled in from the NWS and its local affiliates. And most importantly, we can see who's impacted. So this is great, being able to see all this in one place. How could we make it even better? Well, sometimes these weather hazards, they can last for 12, 24, 48 hours. We actually want to know what's going on right now. What are our drivers facing out on the ground? Well, we can see that now too. We're pulling in dash camera images from your fleet. So now you can actually see what your drivers are seeing, what the conditions are on the ground where they're operating. So this is pretty amazing. No more phone calls to say, is it raining yet? How bad are the roads? You've actually got that on-the-ground situational awareness. How could we make this even better? How could we bring it over the top? Well, this is great for seeing what your drivers see now, where they are right now. What about where they're going to be? Your fleet, your operations, they're constantly on the move. Sometimes your teams are moving hundreds of miles in a single day. The weather is moving too. What you really want to know is what's happening where your operations are going to be. So what would be really amazing is if there was a network of millions of public traffic cameras and weather cameras, if they were feeding imagery into the system and you could see it right here in the dashboard. Well, that doesn't exist, but we realized it could be possible to create that experience if we brought the Samsara community together. You see, collectively, your fleets have millions of vehicles with connected AI dash cameras. These millions of vehicles are everywhere that operations happen. And they form a network of eyes that can understand weather hazards. And this is an incredible resource to keep each other safe. So we asked ourselves, what if it was possible to tap into that network and do it in a way that preserved your privacy and your control of your data? Well, we think we found a way to do that. We call it Street Sense. Let's take a look. So now we're not just looking at images from our own fleet's cameras. We're looking at images from across the network of millions of Samsara vehicles, including those that are here in this risk zone. And look at this. 20 seconds ago, 23 seconds ago, 41 seconds ago. This is near real-time visibility. We built this with privacy in mind. So we're using AI to strip out personally identifiable information, and each of you have control over whether or not your fleet's cameras participate in the StreetSense network. But when this visibility comes together, it is an incredible tool for you to keep each other safe. So if we want to zoom in and see what's happening at the north end of this weather incident, we can see, hey, there's a flood watch. We're starting to see some water accumulation. Things are getting pretty bad. We might have some delays, some road closures. Right? What about over here? Look, it's really coming down. As of a minute ago, we're seeing a lot of moisture on the road, wet conditions. Drivers are going to have to slow down to stay safe. What about down south? We're seeing some clouds, a couple drops, but it's not too bad yet. Shouldn't impact operations. This is what it means to have true situational awareness and have the visibility and context to keep your team safe. What do you think? This is pretty incredible, right? We went from a radar view to public alerts to our camera's visibility to this collective StreetSense network. Now we know what's happening everywhere. Let's bring it home for our drivers. We can compose a message for them. And the AI will actually take all of the information from the NWS feed, those pages of information, and it'll summarize it into a short message that we can send out. Next time they stop, they can see the message on their mobile app. But what would be even better is if we could not have to wait for them to stop and check the app. We'd love to actually give them a heads up in real time, especially when there's a safety hazard. Well, most of these drivers have a Samsara camera in the cab. This camera is connected, and it's got a speaker. So what if we could actually use AI to create a new message, an audio message, that could be played for them instantly through their dash camera speaker? Well, we can do that too. Let's take a look. So I'm going to go ahead and edit this message. I'm going to shorten it up. Plains region, starting around noon. The Beyond crowd wants you safe. Want to personalize it, make sure they know we're thinking about them. And now I'll enable in-cab audio, and it's going to use AI to generate a human-like spoken message that can play over the dash camera. Let's listen to what it produced.
NWS has issued a flood watch for the West Texas Mountain and Plains region starting around noon. The Beyond crowd wants you safe.
Pretty good.